How's it going, folks? Mark from Like-Minded Lunatics, and I am here with Ricky Hall. Ricky, say hi to the folks.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good. I'm glad to have you. So this is in between episodes 1 and 2 of Heroman. So the folks just heard the Nest of Honesty last week, and they're going to hear the second part this coming up week. So I thought maybe you and I could kind of kick off this supplementary material and talk about the beginnings of this project, some of the inspirations that you had for the music, and all of that type of stuff. Is there anything that you remember specifically when we started this? We started this back in 2015. It was almost immediately after we had finished Wade. It was actually if I remember right, the fall of our semester that year that we started working on this. Was there anything that you remembered about this project that you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, I mean, I had a blast doing the Wade trilogy, and when I think Todd contacted me saying we're doing the superhero thing, I was like, yeah, man, I'm in. And then later on, I heard, oh, it's superheroes in therapy. I was like, what? But yeah, I was real gung-ho, and you guys sent me, you said, hey, we're thinking of something like this. And I can very vividly remember it was the theme song from the Super Friends cartoon of the 70s and Johnny Quest, which I know both of those cartoons really well. I'm from a generation where I watched those Saturday mornings in my pajamas, eating cereal, all that. You're the same way.
It was a tradition. You looked forward to it every week. Like every week, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get to watch cartoons in my underwear and eat cereal. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, all morning. It was great. So I remember taking those and I was like, oh, that's really hip, and took some elements. I kind of used the groove from the Johnny Quest and kind of that 60s kind of jazz, I guess they maybe call it third string stuff, and then the Super Friends had all the kind of brassy, and kind of mashed it together, and I basically kind of came up with that theme song and sent it to you guys saying, this is what I'm thinking of, is this on the right track? And it was, and it just kind of went from there. And I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I originally was going to have vocals in there. And I was going to have, my idea was the main melody it's derived from saying hero man, like hero man. That's right. Da, da, da. And I was going to have, hero man and da, 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 and hero. And that was kind of my idea. And then I never got around to it. And it just stayed where it was, but,
oh, wow. I had no idea. Did you ever actually lay those tracks down?
I didn't. And I think it was, I don't know if it was a time issue or if it was, well, this works, and I'm not going to mess with it. And y'all, you really liked what I had, and I liked it. And maybe I was afraid I would mess it up or something, because you always have these great ideas in your head and then they end up not panning out. And yeah.
Well, one of the things that I really loved, and I do remember talking to both you and Todd about this specifically, is that Todd and I really wanted to dive into a genre. And like a lot of folks, when they start doing genre work, our first instinct is to deconstruct it as opposed to kind of work within the confines of it. But one of the things I was really hip to do was to have those musical transitions in between scenes that they used to do in the old Super Friends cartoon. They would go back at the League of Justice, would have all of those like weird sound effects. That turned out so well, I think, in that final cut. And I love the juxtaposition between your music and just how mundane everything is in the actual story.
Yeah. It can be real. There's the kind of therapy music in the background, and
Todd loved that. What was that? Is that like Muzak, or what? How would you categorize that music?
Yeah, there's actually a fancy term. It's called diegetic music, which is the music that the characters are experiencing there's a source music sometimes, as opposed to the magic orchestra.
Right.
And that was actually something I did for something else that was like a web series, and it was a TV show, and it went off the air.
Okay.
So I did multiple versions of this kind of corny Latin we're off the air thing. And that was a version that I hadn't used, like I used for them, and I had it. And I just thought that I was like, they're all in therapy, and there would be this music that would not be, it's supposed to be relaxing, but it's not. It's so cornball, and I put that in there. And I remember you guys telling me stuff like, wow, I didn't think of them being in the room or the music and the therapy, or I thought they would be outside, but you have them inside with all the office sounds. There was a couple of happy accidents like that.
Todd and I've talked a lot about that, where when we give you whatever we've written, a lot of times you interpret it in different ways than we do. And so it adds another dimension to it for us.
Right.
And that kind of leads me to one of the other questions I had about it. So in our head, Todd and I had a very clear vision about, we wanted the voiceover artist to be using that cadence in kind of a dissonant way, to be announcing something that's mundane in that big bombastic voice. And after you started writing it, I really felt like your music was acting as another voice like that, if that makes sense. So we've got the voice of the voiceover character who is clearly divorced from reality, but then your music is also divorced from reality too. Did you feel that when you were writing the music? Did you feel like, okay, I need to create a dissonant feeling between what's going on here in the scene and then what the music is doing?
Maybe. I mean, I guess I was just thinking, nice and corny, and going off Todd. He's hit with a jab insult, and then bow.
Yes.
Or I just kind of going off what Todd was saying, or the voiceover. Yeah, I guess I should say.
Well, that's great. Yeah, the way you followed him, it almost creates, like I said, another voice within that narrative.
Right.
The other thing, I don't want to give away too much, but after the first episode, it starts to get apparent that Better Man is not a great influence on Daniel, and that whole world is not a good world for Daniel to be in. But the music stays the same. So when we were plotting these out, Todd and I had pretty clear roadmaps for where we wanted it to go. When we were plotting this out, was that ever in the back of your head, like, I got to keep up this cornball energy, even though some really dark things are going to start happening?
I think a little bit. And I knew, and when we first started, I don't think I knew it was going to be the 3 or 4 episodes. I think we were kind of going, but I wanted everything to be derived from that main theme. Right. Somehow it was going to be influenced by that main dun 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 somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe I did try to kind of keep the corny superhero-ness in there, and because it seems like a lot of the characters are kind of on their own planet, or they're not aware of. Some are real serious, and some are just way in La La Land. And
yeah, they're all divorced from reality in varying ways.
Yeah.
The thing that I love is that the one that's the most grounded is the one that's the most over the top. The Red Ruin is the one that's actually the most grounded. He's worried about his relationship with his wife. He's worried about his relationship with his stepson. He's worried about Daniel as a father, but he acts like a complete arch character.
Yeah.
But he's the only one that's grounded.
He can't shake that part of him away,
No, he can't.
Yeah.
And I really wish so that for folks that don't know, we recorded a lot of this stuff asynchronously. So I would record almost all of my dialogue, and then I would sit down with Todd and help him record his, and then we'd get all the ancillary characters and we would help them. And so it was really recorded in kind of an asynchronous way. When you heard Todd doing his VO, what was your first impression? He blew me away the first time I heard him.
Oh yeah. At first I wasn't sure if it was him or not. I was like, who is this? And yeah, it was great. It really blew me away. Very kind of 60s cartoon, but also 1940s radio drama, vaudeville, even there's kind of vaudeville-ish. Yeah, it was great. That voiceover.
I wish you could have seen him. I make fun of him. I still make fun of him. He had to, it was like a locomotive. He would get to doing like this and just back and forth as he was doing the dialogue.
I've seen some pictures where he's kind of, you can tell, always doing the voiceover there. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're right around 10 minutes. So I think what we may do now, Ricky, is I'm going to let the folks watch some of the commercials that we created for this way back in 2015. And this was, just so folks know, this was originally designed as a podcast before there were gajillion podcasts out there. And so a lot of our promotional materials had to tell people how to use podcasts. You try to tell folks about it. I don't know if you had this experience, Ricky. I would tell people, we did this really cool thing. Where can I find it? Well, it's a podcast. What is a podcast? Oh God, it's a file on the internet. All you got to do is click a thing. Do I have to have a radio? Radios are not involved. There's no radio involved. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So we'll let folks watch that commercial. And then when we come back, we'll have a discussion with Todd and Jim Longoria. Well, thank you for doing this for me, Ricky. I certainly.
Yeah, man.
Good All right, folks, enjoy that commercial. And we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Here we are with some more behind the scenes stuff for the Adventures of Heroman. And Mark, today we got the one and only Jim Longoria. What's going on, dude?
Oh man, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. So as I said before, Jim is sort of our Hank Azaria, and I that's a compliment, by the way. I know Hank gets in trouble a little bit for that Apu voice these days, but Jim, you got so many accents and so many voices you do. I probably haven't even heard them all over the years, but folks who've been listening along to the Adventures of Heroman have at least seen episode 1, I hope. And you'll recognize Jim as the PO, as Madman in the therapy sessions, and as the therapist. And both Mark and Jim in this series often have to interact with their own voices, one character talking to another character. Sometimes the therapist is trying to control Madman, just like sometimes, Mark, you have to do, Hero Man talking to Ruin. But Jim, I hope you will just talk to us a little bit about your memories of doing the voices and how you came to those voices and just what you thought of the experience.
Well, it was a lot of fun for me. I mean, I do stupid stuff all the time. Since I was a kid, I always did little voices. When I drive by myself, I do little voices to myself because I'm an idiot. So when you guys said you needed somebody to do voices, I'm made for this. So I think the way we did the different ones, I know Mark was like, just, I think it was the PO who was just do your normal voice, let that be you. Mm-hmm. And I threw a few different ones out and I read a few lines as different characters. And I think we kind of came to a consensus. All right, well, you're going to use this voice for this one and so forth. And to me, it's just fun showing off something that I love accents. I love little voices and stuff. So it was a lot of fun for me to do it, and then show off in a sense.
I always hate when people ask me to do a voice. But I'm going to ask you to do it just because folks don't know what what people's faces look like when they do them. And Mark was making fun of me for swinging my arm around when I do the narrator. Can you just show us your face when you're going to do Madman? Just get a few lines in.
I forgot what was my Madman voice.
Yeah, that's Lee.
What was it?
That's Mr. Lee.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Lee. Oh, that's so my buddy John Lee, my mentor, who I love dearly. That's right. And so in my mind, I kind of channel John. Yeah. And for some reason in my mind, I have to think about it. But he kind of, Longoria, he has this grimace. He's always like, oh, and he has he's kind of he's not a mad person, but he's kind of cranky. Yeah. He's just kind of cranky. So I'm like, what, Longoria? And it's a little high pitched. And so in my mind, I got to kind of see him walking in. And he's the person with whom I first shared an office when I started teaching. I think I was like 25 or 26. Yeah. And probably late 50s, early 60s already. And so he was a pretty intimidating figure at first. And so he would come in and say stuff, if you wear a tie, they'll respect you, but they'll hate you. And start telling me these weird things. And, well, I'm sure you're a liberal tree hugger. Great man, though. And he would make these comments. And so pretty soon I was like, oh, I can do that guy. That's easy. And so he started coming in about, hey, John, how you doing today? And hey, how are you? And so, I did this kind of do John. And okay, I'll do John. And then it just kind of stuck. It seemed to work.
Yeah. One of my favorite stories about John is I passed him one day, and I've told both of you this, but I think it's an insight into the Madman character too. I passed him on the sidewalk one day, and it was kind of cold, and I could see him coming my way, and we were both huddled together, walking to our classes pretty quickly. And as he was coming towards me, and John didn't talk to me all that much, but as he was coming towards me, he's like, how are you doing today? And I was like, I'm doing pretty good. And as I passed him, I said, I'm doing pretty good. And as I got past him, he goes, well, good for you. Real loud and hateful. I was like, Jesus Christ, what did I do? And so
nothing hateful. He just lacked that social skill is all.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, well.
He's a sweet man, sweet man. But you just like that. So yeah, it was really just like all right, do John. All right, yeah. All right, Longoria, I can do John.
Yeah.
One of the things
and that therapist is so good too. You know, going into that, you know, just, you know, it's very earnest, and it goes well with Hero Man's sort of refusal to take any of this seriously, or at least initially his reluctance to take it seriously. Now, Mark, did you say you had some stuff for us to look at today?
I did. So when we posted this originally back in 2015, we released it as a podcast through Apple Podcasts and then through Google Podcasts, and we created these little commercials that we used on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter to kind of advertise this thing. And so we've got 2 of them here that we filmed back then. And I thought maybe we could watch them together and just I don't know, have a beer and laugh at the dumb stuff that we did way back then. So let me see. I've got one of them pulled up here, Todd. Let me get that fixed for us. Let's go to share screen. And I think I've got it set to where we can all hear the audio. Hopefully we can. Can y'all see that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
This is 5 years ago. I look about 15 years younger just in that little image.
That's before your heel turn. You were a babyface back then.
That's good. Yeah, he absolutely was. Here we go.
That I'm feeling is this. Hey, man. Hey, I'm just going to talk to Mark real quick. Yeah. Hey, man. What's going on, buddy? Oh, well, I got to thinking that we hadn't posted anything on Facebook for a long time about Hero Man. So anyway, I was already wanting to do DVD extras anyway for when the DVD comes out. And I thought it would be cool to meet the creators. You know what I'm saying? Dude, first off, I know we haven't posted anything. Wait till you get everything back. Remember, you said we had it all together. Think about, we're not doing a DVD, dude. I don't know how many times we have to go over this. It's a podcast, and it's not a video series. I don't know what you... Hey, are we doing the DVD stuff today? Or the creators.
You're getting your stuff and leaving.
I know. Why am I leaving my own office? It doesn't make any sense. Narratively, that makes no sense.
You do it in a couple of them, but I like it because you're just so, you know, I think we have developed caricatures of ourselves to play in these scenarios. And
yeah.
I'm, you know, the little detail about me that we sort of overblow is this sort of naive assumption that everything's going to be just fine and that we don't really have to work very hard at anything.
Right.
And everything's great. I really don't have to listen too much because especially when I don't, people just do the work for me. So there's me doing that. And then you seem to me like a very logical person, but when the rage goes over it, it doesn't make any sense. You're going to take your papers there. You're going to go find like a corner to be mad in and grade papers.
And that character that I play always is put upon and is always on the precipice of breaking down and being just completely infuriated.
Yes. Yeah.
And I like playing the character where I'm looking for Mark's approval. Like I want to hang out. I think Todd's really cool. Like I probably like Todd more than I like Mark, but secretly, like somehow on some level, I need Mark's approval more than I need Todd's.
Yeah, for sure. Because like I'm like the mom who gives the approval day one. Like, yep, you're fantastic, just the way you are. Let's go. And Mark's like the one you gotta like impress.
Always, for some reason, I need Mark's approval in everything I do when we play these characters.
And what cracks me up is that Jim is always waiting just at the right moment to enter to just infuriate me that much more. It's great. The timing is perfect. Like the moment that I can see him in the background walking in, it's so good.
And under your breath, you sort of almost interrupt yourself, Mark, every time. Nobody's saying anything, but you go, no.
God damn it.
That's good. Yeah. And then we're going to sit at his desk.
Join us next time for Mark's internet history.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Priceless. So we were filming those in what, 2014 or was it 2015?
That's 2015.
That's crazy. We were in our old offices.
I know. I'm sure the university would appreciate us doing this on university property.
I know. When they told us at one time, we were in some faculty meeting, and they were like, when you use your work email to correspond and share creative work, and when you do things on campus, that's university's property. And we're in the meeting, and you turn around. I think you were in front of me. You turn around. You're like, I'm not fucking doing that. Like, we didn't do that on campus at all.
No. And the next one,
they're partitions.
That's right.
We created the office look.
I feel like the next one would get us into more trouble, so it's a good thing I'm going to air it on YouTube.
Nice.
Let me get this pulled up. This next one is even more incriminating, I think. All right. You know, it would have been nice if I'd had all this shit prepared.
Well, I think it's a little window for people, right, Jim? What it's like to be with Mark, and
it adds verisimilitude.
That's right.
Solid word for the day.
That's right.
All right, here we go.
We're just sitting around waiting for Mark to.
Hey man, what's going on? Not much, but so I got your voicemail. Yeah, but it wasn't clear exactly what you were going to show me today.
Right. I finished the cover. I mean, we're going to release next week. At least I hope so. And so this is the cover we're going to use for the new podcast. No more hyperliterature. Yeah. I mean, we released through the website, but this is going to be our cover. What do you think?
Wow. I like the skyline. It looks cool.
Yeah, and I tried to put in a subtitle down here so it was really obvious which episode they were listening to.
That's great.
Do you like it?
Yeah, you know what I like best about it?
Yeah.
Is that there's nice room for us to superimpose the images of us in costume.
Dude, we're not doing any of that.
Let me show you. I brought a couple things here. You know how you're the Red Ruin, right?
Well, yeah.
So, dude, here, bunch of capes. Bunch of just hang on.
You're embarrassed at this whole idea.
I just love how excited you are, and you have to know this is going to piss me off.
Right. And so now when we do videos together.
Go ahead.
Sorry, man. You go ahead.
No, I'm saying this, look at Mark's posture too. Like you can already tell he's like already flexing. Like he's already doing his Hulk. Like he's pissed. Like he's selling it with just by his posture alone. Look at him.
He's already flexing. I know. I'm just bearing down. I can't manage it.
You're like Dr. Claw in that chair. But what I was going to say is when we were kind of coming up with these exaggerations of ourselves. Now, see, today it's devolved or evolved far enough that it's clear that I'm actually trying to pick at you a little bit, and I've learned how to do it. But in these early ones, it's just me like not paying attention to what annoys you, but doing it really well, like really annoying you instantly. Yeah.
And I don't know which one I find funnier. I think I might find the intention funnier, where it's obvious that you know what's going to piss me off, but this is still really good.
Now picture you, right? On this thing, great thing that you made.
I'm not wearing that.
Just don't put it on. At some point in this partnership, you're going to have to trust me.
It looks like I'm going to go to an Eyes Wide Shut party at a Comic-Con. I'm not doing that.
A little more adult. We've been trying to say this is not for kids. This will make it adult.
The sliding on of the mask, adult. It's so funny to me.
That's kind of
that's so absurd.
Before we went on, we were talking about Jack Black a little bit. It's sort of a Jack Black, like sing-songy motion there.
It is, yeah.
Dramatic for no reason.
Jim, because he said he had some stuff that he wanted to show me anyway. Oh, good. And so let me tell you two have been. He's just down the street.
You're annoyed that he and I are friends. Oh, so you two.
To show him the masks yet.
No, I think we should just go with this. Look. Oh, guys.
I'm not going to ruin it. Dude,
I have some great ideas for the podcast. Check out this sword.
Oh, man. You cannot carry that on campus. You can't carry swords on campus.
No, dude. I think I read something.
What about the
Facebook swords?
It's not even a sword. Oh my god!
Can I see that one?
Yeah.
No. You know, they said it like something about conceal. This is their thing. What about these? Oh, dude, Michelangelo. Yes, dude. No, I don't know what you guys are doing.
I have no battle moves. I don't know what I'm trying to do there.
And I was trying not to hurt myself with those nunchucks at the time, like because I was totally like broken my watch or something,
Gingerly, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just trying to make it look like I could possibly do it, but.
Well, I love Todd's posture as well. It's clear he has never held a sword in his life. He's like,
no.
Like, what are you doing?
80s action cartoons. What do you mean?
What I like best about the weapons and stuff is when we film, we're going to be able to, draw them out. Dude, we're not filming.
Leaving.
He's an idiot, right, Mark? No, I can't do this.
Right, Mark.
Maybe I can play with this a little bit. Just, do you know where's the superimpose? Or
Look at that face. Look at Jim's face. No, I don't know.
What I want to do is get some good images of us, maybe some video of us. That would be awesome. But Mark said, like flying across the skyline and stuff, and you can have my nunchucks. No, I want my nunchucks, at least my nunchucks. Yeah. I do have an orange cape, which is like Michelangelo. We don't have to make a direct reference, but it could be good for you, I think. With this. I mean, this makes it, and this is what Mark doesn't understand. This makes it good.
This is what Mark doesn't understand.
That's right. That's right.
That was awesome.
Those
I
were
like
so
that
fun.
when I try to stop you two and you just kind of like rush past me, like you bum rush me, like get out of my effing way, like.
I know you have your hand on my chest, like, but Mark. I mean, I can't even bother to listen to it.
I want your approval, but as soon as you leave, I turn on you, like.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a moment there when Mark's gone that you still are sort of on his side. You're sort of like maybe going to play his role for a minute, and then I start getting like fanciful in the ideas, and you get swept away in it, and you're like, that would be awesome, dude.
That would be awesome. Screw Mark.
And then there we are in your office again without you.
I know, and I just walk out. I don't know where I go whenever that happens.
Sit in your car, I guess.
Yeah. I like how my character breaks the rules of improv by saying no to everything, but that it actually leads you to other things. You know what I mean? So I'm like, no, but the no doesn't stop the improv. It provides you with forks in the road.
Just ignore the no. Yeah, for sure. Ignore the no.
Because you're the no character, right? Like we know that you're going to be the no guy, and we got to go on and somehow piss you off.
Yeah. I love it. It's fantastic, and it lets me just be a curmudgeonly asshole, which I'm good at doing anyway. So.
And and Jim, you're this character that you're doing here in the trailers, it has evolved for you too, because my favorite line of yours, and these lines are not scripted, people should know, we're just messing around when we film these, just a general idea of what we're gonna do and what needs to be done by the end of it. But when we were doing these early Zooms back in March or April at the beginning of COVID and everything, we were starting the channel, and the three of us are on, and we're talking about what fun things we could do on the channel, and you're like, do Matrix, like, you got a field back there, don't you? Like, do Matrix. And like, there's a new hostility to that.
And I'll throw that up, Todd. I'll link to that in this video as well, so people can check that out. But yeah, Jim's character has become much more aggressive, which I think is even funnier.
Yeah,
I like how he admonishes me like I'm the one screwing up.
Yep.
Or
you grown
burritos,
up.
I said to add the CGI burritos or something like that.
Yeah. Put burritos. Yeah.
Well, we're like right at 20, Todd. So we want to wrap this one up and.
Yeah, let's wrap up. And dude, I hope we have time to do something else with Jim when folks have heard more of the storyline and more of his performance. But dude, thanks for being with us. And Mark, you got anything else for folks coming up on the channel?
So I don't actually know when I'm going to get this posted. For me, it's the Thursday before Halloween, and I've got a video coming out on Friday for the Friday Night Reaction videos, and then a video on Saturday night. And then you have sent me some more of the Drink, Play, Swear games, or Drink, Play, Swear segments, and I'm editing those. And the second episode of Hero Man will come out next week. So I've got all of that stuff that I'm editing right now. trying to put it all together. So.
Cool, man. Okay, well, folks, like I've said before in the Drink Play Swears, if you're liking what you're seeing and hearing, it means you're home. Welcome, and we're happy you're one of a fellow like-minded lunatics. Jim, thanks for being one of the original like-minded lunatics, agreeing to do this crazy stuff with us 5 years ago. Folks, we'll see you soon. Stay tuned for more.